dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail rings, making spirits bright. Oh, what fun to laugh and sing. Oh, what fun to laugh and sing. Oh, what fun to laugh and sing. Okay, you can tell that that is my favorite line in the whole song. So welcome to the Christmas Eve edition of Live Stream Stories. and if you aren't ready to laugh and sing at this time of year, then when else are you going to do it? I mean, this is the perfect excuse. So today, I really want to welcome you here. This is a very special edition of Live Stream Stories, and we're going to explore, and I'll just put it up on the captions here, we are going to explore the answer to the question of how do you tell a great story? And I have some really cool storytelling going on. I am going to bring on, via video, one of the best storytellers on the planet. His name is Matthew Dix, and he has been a Moth champion, Grand Slam champion, several times in a row. And if you stay with me, I have a copy of his book that I am going to give away. Yay! So if you like that idea, say so in the comments, and I'll tell you how you can win this. I can tell you how you can win this. We're going to talk about storytelling. I'm going to show you, Matthew Dix is going to come on in video form, and he's going to tell you his very best ways that you can collect your own stories. You know, this is a big problem for us. How do we know what story to tell? Well, he has a great method, and I'm going to have him teach it to you. And then I'm going to give away this copy of his book, Storyworthy. This is the best book on storytelling that I have ever encountered, and I've encountered probably 24 books on storytelling. The subtitle is How to Engage, Teach, Persuade, and Change Your Life. Actually change your life through the power of storytelling. And you can win this. So the way you win, no matter where you are, what platform you're on, all I'm asking you to do is share this video because we want to get more people here. So just hit the share button, share it to whatever platform you're on, and then write Storyworthy. Write the title of the book in the comments. So let's see. Now, hang on just a second. I have to put this on. So this is what you need to do right here. Share the video, and then right here in the captions, say Storyworthy. And we've got some people here already. Look. I'm going to guess that this is Kristen. She always comes on and as Facebook user. She's nice singing. Thank you for my singing. I love. I wish we could all sing together, right? Wouldn't that be fun? And it looks like Gina is here. Hi, Gina. She says, "Oh my God, I'm so excited to see Matthew." And awesome. Really great to see you guys. Yes, would love to win the book. Okay, well, you know what to do. Just go over to the share button. Go to the share button and click share. Share this video, and then write the word Storyworthy in the comments. And I will see every one of you who has written Storyworthy in the comments, and I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick one of you who's here today. So that's what we're doing. Here's my agenda. Here's my agenda for today. Number one, we're going to give away some prizes. So prize number one is this book, but I have more. Prize number two is this book. This is a book called Break Through the Noise. Now, doesn't that sound like something you might want to do on social media, is to break through all the noise? So this book was written by a man who owns an agency, a marketing agency called Shareability. And he has created the most shared content, particularly video content, on the planet. And I'm going to share one of the most viral videos that he created. later in the show. And then when we do that, we're going to give away a copy of this book. So stay tuned. That's coming. And then in the middle of all of that, I am going to share my own favorite recipe for how to tell a story. So that when you, like, there's always this thing of like, okay, so I'm telling a story. How do I do it? What's the style? When I'm doing it on video, how can I do it that's engaging? And the thing that I think is most important is that how do you tell a story that will inspire people to take action? Because we've all heard stories, we've all seen terrific TED Talks that have great information in them, but they don't always inspire you to take action. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you my formula. It's only 4 steps on how to tell a story that will inspire people to take action and go out there and actually do something. And you make some change, make something better, make something happen. And in the case of our business, come and work with you and come and do stuff together. You know, all of that. If you're wanting to build a movement, if you're wanting to start a revolution. So there's 2 steps. Tell a story, and tell a story that is so inspiring that people take action. So this is how you change your life. This is how you change the world. And this is what we're going to do today. This is where we're going. So cool. Awesome. Luis here is saying, good vibes. Welcome. It's great to see you here. Thank you for joining me on this special Christmas Eve edition of Live Stream Stories. So oh, look, Gina says, I'm reading Storyworthy right now on Audible. Yeah, me too. I started on Audible, but then, you know, sometimes books are so good that you actually have to go out and get a copy so that you can mark it up and put little notes, sticky notes in here, and then, you know, save the very best parts. So that's what I did. So I have the Audible version and I have the actual copy. So, and this is the thing, I want to share with somebody, I want to share the actual copy with one of you. That's what you can look forward to. All right, let me see who else is here in the comments down below. Let's see. Oh, look, Nissan arrived. He says he thought it was going to be at 3:30. Well, guess what? It's 3. This show, and I'm going to remind you guys, this show is Thursday at 3. Easy to remember, right? Thursday at 3. Thursday at 3. Live stream stories, Thursday at 3. I'm going to be going live next Thursday, New Year's Eve, and we're going to have a special New Year's Eve party. I just can't wait. It's going to be New Year's. And oh my gosh, have we been waiting for the new year? Yes, we have. It's the collective thing. Like, oh my gosh, can we celebrate this time bigger than we've ever celebrated the new year? Because man, we need it. We totally need another new year. Right, cool, awesome. Nicole says, shared. Awesome. Excellent. Okay, Nicole, you're first in line. Welcome. And this is modeling. She is, whoops, it's over here. She is modeling what you guys need to do. If you want to win a copy of this book, which I am giving away after I show you guys what Matthew's thing is, and I have him come on video-wise, and he's going to share this method with you. As soon as that's done, I'm going to give this to one of you. And the way you do it is what Nicole has done right here. Share this video, just hit the share button and share it somewhere, and then write the word Storyworthy here in the feed. Put it in a comment, just comment that word. Okay, so here we go. Now, before I dive into the content, I have one more thing to do, which is that I need to thank Restream. And Restream, thank you. Thank everybody at Restream. Restream is this great family. There's a whole bunch of Restreamers who are all part of putting on the Restream thing, and I get to be lucky enough to be one of them. And this show, this live stream story show, is completely sponsored by Restream. And I just want to show you a couple of things without going into too much detail of why Restream is such a great idea. So here we go. You can do things like what I have here. I have these cool captions on and I have these cool graphics on. And so if I just adjust this for just a second here, if I come back here and let me hide this for a second, and then over here, I can change my outlay. Look at this, I'm in the snow. or I can do this one. Dum, dum, dum. Or I can do this one. And so you can change your look. And I actually prefer this one. I thought this was a pretty cool one to have today. But also, like if I just want to talk about my show, here we are. Welcome to Live Stream Stories. And now I have my name, Brad Powell. That's me. So these are the kinds of things that you can do to make your own live stream series just up its game a little, make it look more professional, make your name and your thing stand out just that much more. And this is so simple. I'm literally just clicking a button here and I completely change the look and feel of what I'm doing today. And I just think that's so cool. The other thing that is super cool about Restream is, because this is why it's called Restream, is that I can go live on all these places. So some of you guys, as I'm looking in the chat, some of you guys are on Facebook, some of you guys are on YouTube, some of you are on LinkedIn, and I'm seeing you from all these different places. So I can reach you where you like to hang out. And I can bring the people who I know who are connected with me on Facebook together with the people who I know who are connected with me on YouTube, and we can all have a party together on Christmas Eve. So that's the coolest thing ever. And if you're interested in doing Restream yourself and getting it, use this link. This is restream.io/join/showup. And guess what? Because it's the holiday season, right now, Restream has a special holiday discount. So it's like 30% off of any of the plans that you might sign up for. You can, by the way, sign up for free. And it's not just a free trial. There's a level where you can use Restream and it doesn't cost you anything. But if you ever upgrade, use this link right here. You'll get a discount. Plus my special link gives you even more of a discount. And yeah, Restream away. Restream, what is it? I have to do this thing. Restream and prosper. All right. So thank you, Restream. It's so awesome that you guys are supporting this show. This is what all us creators need, is support like this, so that we can do this kind of content and share this kind of thing further and further and further. So let's get down to business, to the whole story-worthy thing. So this is what I want to share with you. I just want to see, got a few more people here coming in. Awesome. Restream is, story-worthy. How do you become story-worthy? How do you become someone who can tell a story really well? That's part of our exploration for today. And our guide, one of our personal guides, is Matthew Dix, who is the author of this book, which, as I said, I'm giving away. So if you want this book, share the video and then write story-worthy in the comments. And I will see that. And then I will pick somebody to win the book. It's so exciting. So here we go. I have Matthew Dix waiting in the wings in video form. And he does this practice. He teaches a practice that he calls homework for life. And one of the biggest challenges to telling any story is basically the question of, well, where do I find my stories? What stories do I tell? How do I create, how do I tell lots of stories over time? Where do those stories come from? And so he has a method, which I'm going to have him teach to you, which is very particular and very easy, that you can put into practice. And once you put this into practice, not only will you come up with a long list of stories, that's sort of like the least beneficial thing that you'll get. What you will also get is you will get a sense that instead of thinking, oh, my life isn't very interesting, my life is kind of dull, I don't have anything interesting to talk about, you'll see day after day that all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I'm leading this really rich, interesting life. But look at all these stories that I can tell about things that have happened all around me. And this is the experience that he had in his own life, and he started sharing this. And the other thing about this is that as you realize the richness of your life, and then you start sharing that richness with everybody else around you, you will create a richer life for everyone around you. Think about that. A richer life for everyone around you. Would you like to know? Would you like to know how to do that? It's so simple, and I'm going to show you right now. So before I press the button, tell me that you want it. Tell me that you want it. I want to see in the comments. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put this on, and I have to do this. Here he is, my special guest, right over here, Matthew Dix. And I'm going to share his screen, full screen, and we're going to turn him on right here. And let's see what he has to say.
So I gave myself a homework assignment. This is what I did. I decided that every night before I went to bed, about 11:30, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to reflect upon my day, and I'm going to ask myself, if I had to tell a 5-minute story from something that happened today, benign as it might be, what was the most story-like moment from my day? Now, I don't write the story down because that would be too much. All I do is write a snippet of it. I actually use Excel because I'm sort of an Excel person. So this is my Excel spreadsheet from the most recent days. And you can see that what I write down is about a sentence or two. Sometimes it's just a collection of words. But there are things that mean something to me. And you can see that some days I have more than one item. And so I sat down and I just started doing that, not knowing what the results are going to be. This project didn't matter. Because I discovered that if you apply this to your life, if you sit down and honestly look for stories in your life, you begin to develop a lens, a storytelling lens that is sharp and clear. And you start to see that there are stories in your life all the time. There are moments when you connect with someone and your heart moves, or your position on something changes, or you discover something for the first time. And you also discover that there's beauty and import in your life that you never imagined was there. And so if you look at my most recent one, which is the last one, from just a few days ago, it says, walked Kaylee at 2 a.m., underwear, birds, rain, and beauty. And so my dog woke me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, Kaylee. She doesn't do it very often, but she wakes me up. It's clear she has to pee. I'm wearing a pair of boxers, and I say, all right, I'll bring you out to the lawn, and I'll let you pee. And so I bring her out onto the lawn, and apparently she did not plan on just peeing because she started walking down the block. And again, I'm only in boxers, but I'm thinking, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. This can't go that bad. And so I walk with my dog in a pair of boxers around the block. And it's a busy block. And if you've ever been out at 2 o'clock in the morning, you'll know that the birds are louder at 2 o'clock in the morning than any other time. They sing their hearts out at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so I'm walking with my dog, and when I reach the furthest point on the block from my house, it begins to suddenly rain on me. And so I have a dog, and I have boxers, and I have the rain, and I'm far away from my house. And 5 years ago, I would have been angry about this moment. I would have seen nothing in this moment but annoyance. But I have that lens. I've developed it. And I stop on the block, and I realize my dog's 14 years old. She is my best friend. And I know that she's not going to be around for much longer. And this might be the last time in my life that I walk in the rain with this dog. And so what would have been annoying and forgotten is now something that I have written down and I will own for the rest of my life. I don't know what else happened on that day, but I look at that and I am right back on that sidewalk with the birds and the rain and my dog. And when I am lying on my deathbed at 100, I'll be able to get right back there. I don't lose a day because of it. It's magic. It's something that I never expected to happen. And then other amazing things happen because when you start to look for stories in your life and you refine that lens, you suddenly have all these stories well up from your childhood and your youth that you had forgotten. Because now I'm thinking about my dog in the rain, and suddenly you remember another moment with another dog when you were a 12-year-old boy. And suddenly that gets on my list too. And I start to have, the memories come rushing back so quickly, you have to brush them away. All of this happens because I sit down every night and ask myself, what's the 5-minute story from today? What?
All right. Oh my gosh. So I didn't have that quite hooked up quite right echo-wise, but hopefully the sound improved. Tell me if it improved, because I think I fixed it. I really need to know if I fixed it or not, because I'm going to play another video and I want it to be fixed. So let me know if that improved. And I will fill in what he was talking about there, just so that you will know. So Matthew has this method where every night, this is his homework, every night he spends 5 minutes. And if you do this, this is the rule. You can't spend more than 5 minutes. You have to spend 5 minutes or less. And all you do is you think about, what was the story of the day? What happened today? What happened around me? What thing occurred that might be a story? And when something pops up in your brain, you make a note of it. And he uses an Excel spreadsheet. You could use a notebook. You could use Evernote on your computer. You can use whatever is convenient for you. But you just write down one line or one phrase that is kind of the title and or the essence of what that story is, so that you will remember what that was. And do this every night, night after night. Just think about the day. What happened around you? Did you read something inspiring? Did you talk to someone that was inspiring to you? Did you have a connection with anyone that was inspiring to you? Did you have a little incident where you learned about yourself or learned about something else, or something came to you and you got some insight? Whatever that was for you, we all have these little moments in our day where this can happen. And if you keep a record of this, you will all of a sudden get an ear for these kinds of moments in your life. And as I said, you will gain an appreciation for your life in a way that you may not have ever had before. And even if you never share the story, you will have this richer appreciation for, oh my gosh, my life is full of all kinds of stuff. And then when you take those moments and you start sharing them in story form with the people around you, they too will start thinking, oh my gosh, I have a much richer life because of these stories. And I firmly believe that the humans who have been the most successful humans on the planet throughout history, throughout all of human history, the most successful people, the most successful societies, the most successful cultures were successful primarily because of the fact that they knew their stories and they knew their songs and they knew their dances and they shared them often. And so all their identity and their success was built upon the stories that they shared. And this is something we can all reclaim. We can all of us reclaim it. Oh, good. Nitsan says, the echo was corrected. Yay! It's good to know that when you push the right button, you can fix things. Mm-hmm. All right, so now's the time. I am going to give one of you a copy of this book. So if you have shared the book, shared the video, if you shared the video and then have you written Storyworthy in the comments, I'm going to look right now and I'm going to see who has done this. Let me just scroll up through the feed. I'm scrolling. This is your last chance. You could get it in right now. And we are scrolling all the way down. And we're seeing who's here, who has written story. This book is sort of the best book that I have ever read on storytelling. And right. I see a couple story where there's someone here who's Facebook user. I don't know who you are. And Right. I'm just looking through the things and I'm picking. We need some kind of sound effect while I'm picking. Bum 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 bum. Right. So you have to be here. So I want to see, is this person here? This is Facebook user. She has written Storyworthy, or he, and you have to tell me who you are. If you're still here, make another comment and say, it's me, and tell me your name. Are you still there? Okay, so we're gonna wait just a minute and see if we get a response. If this lucky winner is not here, then I'm gonna hide the comment and we'll move on to someone else. So now, while we're waiting, I'm going to start telling you my formula. So let's say you've been doing this practice, the homework for life, and now you've been gathering stories day after day, and you've got this nice long collection of anecdotes, things to fill in, things to share, things that you want to do, and how do you take any of those ideas and turn them into an actual story? So I'm going to give you a 4-step formula that is my favorite way to tell a story. And honestly, story, like good stories, stories that aren't just simply a recitation of something that happened. Good stories are simply the creation of conflict and then the release of that conflict. Conflict and then relieve the conflict. That is what we listen to. You know, if somebody comes into the circle around the fire and starts telling a story about how they met a tiger, but they didn't get eaten, that's a story about a conflict that then resolves with the release of the conflict. They could have gotten eaten, but then they didn't. So I'm looking at the comments again, and this particular user is not commenting again. So this is your last chance. If you're here, tell me who you are. Hiding the comment. And so looking again. All right. So let's see. There we go. Looking for the right thing here. Nicole, are you still here? If you are, you win. So I want to see your comment down below. Tell me that you're here, and I will send you a copy of this book. All right, so here's my 4-step thing. I'm going to go through this really fast. Number one is figure out how you want your audience to feel. The people you're telling the story, pick an emotion, pick something about, like, when I'm telling this story, these are the emotions that I want them to go through. And this, again, is part of hooking them into your story, is by getting them emotionally engaged. Because when we see a character in a story go through some kind of conflict, some kind of emotional struggle, some kind of emotional triumph, we feel the same emotion. That's how our brains work. We can't tell the difference between fiction and reality. Our brain can't tell the difference. We get all caught up and we feel it. We actually feel the same feeling that they have. So you want to decide, well, what kind of feeling do I want to have my audience hear when I'm telling this story? And once you've done that, then you choose in your list of stories, the story ideas, choose a story that could elicit those feelings. That's how you choose. Say, today I'm going to tell a story about that will make people feel really happy. Or I would like to tell a story that makes people really concerned about maybe missing out on something. So a little bit of fear, whatever it is. And then you pick a storyline that will help convey that feeling. Then you tell the story. That's step number 2. You tell the story so that you have conflict, and then you release the conflict. And then after that happens, you tell people why this story matters. Like, what's the moral of the story? What's the lesson? What's the takeaway that you got from that story? And then if this is a business story, if you're doing this because of your business and your work, then you want to tie it to your work and tell basically the business moral of the story. And then after you've done that, then you tell them what to do next. You actually give them a step to take because you've inspired them by your story, and you can say, okay, here you go. Now do this. Oops, and I'm just checking the comments again. I see new messages. And Nicole is here. Yay, you win. Hooray. Okay, Nicole, I will DM you, or you can DM me on Facebook and just tell me, I need to know your address. I need to know, send me a personal message. Tell me where I can send this book and you'll get a copy. Congratulations, hooray. All right, so let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of how this is done. So this is a story, this is a true story of something that happened to me not too long ago, but it happened pre-pandemic. And this was time when I could travel, when I could fly places. We could all fly places. And so I was flying to a 3-day event. And I wanted, like when I go to a 3-day conference or some kind of gathering, I get in kind of a new mode of the travel mode. And I get excited. And I get a feeling like, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. I'm going to meet new people. I'm going to go on an adventure. I'm going to make new friends. I can't wait. And I carry this excitement with me as soon as I leave the house. And so in this case, you know, I booked a JetBlue flight to the event. I got on the plane and I'm thinking, I can start now. Maybe there'll be somebody on the plane who's going to the same event that I'm going to. And maybe we'll sit down and we can start, you know, meeting each other now. And maybe my best friend will be somebody who I meet on the plane. And so I had this expectation. But when I sat down and to my assigned seat, the person sitting next to me was this young woman. And she was sitting there and she had an iPad out and she had earbuds stuck in her ears. And for the whole entire flight, she ignored me. I didn't get a boo out of her, like no hello, no glance, no nothing. She was just completely focused on her inner little iPad world. And if you ever had this experience, I know you've been there. I mean, on planes, people basically, this is what they do often. And so I didn't think too much of it, but I was a little disappointed. But then I went to the event and I had the event and it was good. Like I met people, I made friends, all these things happened. That was great. But 3 days later, the event was over and I went back out to the airport to fly back home to Boston. And I got on the plane and I'm feeling euphoric and I'm feeling like, oh, this was great. I got so much done. I learned so much. I met all these new people. I'm going to take all these new ideas home with me. I feel awesome. And maybe when I get on the plane, there'll be somebody to interact and I can share like what's just happened. You know, maybe there'll be somebody on the plane who I sit next to who was at the event and we can like share all this stuff. You know, when you leave an event, and it's been easy to interact and meet with a whole bunch of people. You know, you come away from those things thinking, wow, I could do this with anybody. And so I'm wanting to exude my newfound gregariousness when I get on the plane. But when I got on the plane and I walked down the aisle and I sat down again in my assigned seat, guess who was in the seat next to me? It was the same woman. And I was like, oh no, we're going to do this again. So, but this time something different happened. This time when I got there, she glanced up and our eyes met and we both started laughing because, oh my gosh, like what are the chances of us sitting together again? And it kind of broke the ice. Like now we started talking and now I learned all these things about her. Like she was a student at Boston, at one of the Boston universities, and she had been, you know, at the city where we were visiting her sister, and she was studying accounting in school. And, you know, I said these things to her like, wow, you're never going to need to look for work because everybody needs an accountant. That's really smart. And so we had this conversation and we were able to talk in a way that the first time we met, the first time we were together, we weren't able to. And so there's the story. There's my story. And hopefully I brought you on a bit of an emotional journey on that story, and you felt some of the emotions that I was going through on that story. And here's the lesson. Here's my takeaway. What I got from doing this was that, the question was why in the first instance were we not able to talk, and in the second instance we were. And I think that the reason is because the second time I had become familiar to this person. I had become a familiar face. And in fact, amongst all of the people on the plane, all of the people who were basically strangers to this woman, I was the only familiar face. I was the only familiar face on the plane. And so we looked up and she looked at me and we started laughing, we started talking because I was familiar. And now I'm going to take the last step and connect it to my work, which is that if you are wanting to reach your audience, especially when you're online and you're doing it like this is right now, through the medium of video, which is kind of the only avenue we have right now, you're not going to be getting on a plane and meeting people right now too much. So if this is your means of speaking to people, all of the audience, for the most part, are like the woman on the plane. They are focused on their own thing, and they are basically ignoring you. And if you can become a familiar face, and it doesn't take that much to become a familiar face, but if you can become a familiar face, then they are much more likely to open up, and they're much more likely to talk with you and laugh with you and tell stories and all that kind of stuff. So my method of choice, of course, is to do this. Use live video. Use Restream. Start showing up in live video and become a familiar face to the people who you want to be interacting with, to the people who you want to work with, to the people who you want to serve. So I hope that that gives you a really clear idea of how you can take some little incident that happens to you and you can stretch it out, and using these 4 steps, turn it into a full-on story that engages people. And of course, the call to action here was go make live videos. Go make live videos. And if you are afraid of making live videos, or if you feel like you need help figuring out the tech part of live videos, or if you need help, you've been making live videos and nobody's watching them and you want help getting them seen by more people, then hey, get a hold of me. Come talk to me. Reach out to me and say, hey, Brad, I'd love to talk with you about how to do live video better. And I'd be happy to, sit down with you, have a virtual tea chat. I have my favorite warm drink here today because it's Christmas Eve. And we can map out a strategy for you that would work really well for the kind of work you do. So this is all by way of how do you use storytelling to connect with people, to become more familiar with them, to get them emotionally engaged with you, to make them feel like their life is richer from the experience of interacting with you. All of that. So there we go. So I'm looking at, oh, look, Kathleen's here. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you. Awesome. Well, thanks you guys for joining. So I have one more thing to share. We are now moving to the final segment of today, and I'm going to give away this book here. So if you've just tuned in on this Christmas Eve edition of Livestream Stories, I just gave away this book, copy of Storyworthy, and now we're moving on to this one. This is Break Through the Noise. This has 9 rules to capture global attention. 9 rules to capture global attention. This is written by Tim Staples. He is the founder of an agency called Shareworthy, and he has shared some of the most shareworthy content, shareworthy videos on the planet. And that is no exaggeration. And I'm going to share one of the videos that he's created with you today, just to give you an idea of the kind of work that he does and to kind of give you an idea of, well, why would you want to do this and how can you do it? And so the example that I'm going to share with you today is this video that they made for the brand Pizza Hut. So you're thinking, oh my gosh, Pizza Hut wants to bring more people to come in and buy their pizzas. What do? You know, first of all, number one, there are a lot of pizzas out there. There's a lot of pizza places out there. And when you think of the very best pizza in the world, do you think of Pizza Hut? You know, like how does a brand like Pizza Hut engage any number of people? How do they engage tons and tons of people? How could they do something that was so interesting that not only would people watch it, but they would share it? How would Pizza Hut make a piece of content so interesting that they would share it? And what Tim points out is that what they looked for is they looked for a trend, something that was already happening in the world that a lot of people were engaging around. And this is where it's really relevant to what we're doing, like live streaming and video making and putting your image out there. And what they noticed at the time that this video was made, which was about 3 or 4 years ago, what they noticed was that at the time, the big new fad was people taking selfies. People taking selfies. And along with the fad of people taking selfies was the fad of people having a selfie stick. And at the time, Pizza Hut had just introduced a super long pizza, 2-foot long pizza. And so they put these two ideas together and say, okay, well, in order to promote the long pizza, we're going to do something around how these long selfie sticks are getting a little bit out of hand. And they did something that was like a pseudo documentary and a public service announcement about the dangers of selfie sticks. And just give me a second here. I am going to share this. And while we're doing this, this is what I want you guys to do. So now, if you've already shared the video, you don't need to do it twice. But if you haven't shared this video, I want you to share the video and then in the comments, write breakthrough. Breakthrough. All right. So there you go. If you do that right now, while I'm queuing up this video, then we will have a winner. I'll pick a winner. So let me just, I have to get the share thing going here, just a second. And this is another thing that if you are using Restream, this is the kind of thing that you can do. You can share videos just like I'm going to do now. And we're coming here. We're going to bring this on just like this. Okay, put this on like this. There it is. All right. So you have the instructions. Share the video, and then say the word breakthrough. And by the way, enjoy this video.
Selfies are beautiful. Who hasn't been thrilled by the self-photographer? Those fabulous NARS artists who allow us to bask in the brightness of their shine. But these egotastic specimens of visual self-obsession are in danger. Danger caused by this. By moving the camera away from the central subject of the selfie, selfie sticks create the illusion that other objects, places, and even people exist. The curiosity generated by this new point of view leads our self-focused friends out into a much wider world, and that leads to disaster.
They used to be focused on just themselves, like how their hair was the bomb, or how adorbs their new shoes were. Just hashtagging. Now they realize they can take pictures that capture so much more. And I hate that.
Given their propensity to compare, compete, and outdo each other, selfie sticks in the hands of these vainglorious Van Goghs are growing in size, doubling and tripling in length.
Bigger parties means bigger selfies, which leads to bigger selfie sticks, which leads to bigger selfies, which leads to bigger parties and bigger pizza. This is 2 feet of pizza, man. This better show up on Instagram.
When can we say enough is enough? If you know someone who is gracious enough to share themselves with the World Wide Web over and over and over again, share this video with them. After all, what would we do without your daily outfit updates, complete with duck-faced lips taken in your bathroom mirror? Please warn those you love about the dangers of selfie stick abuse. Pizza Hut is a supporter of those suffering from...
All right. Oh, so that video was the most viewed video on YouTube in the month that it was published on YouTube. The most viewed video on YouTube in the month. Now, can you imagine, like, if you were to make a piece of content and people liked the story that you were telling so much that they wanted to share your story the way that people shared that Pizza Hut story about selfie sticks, then you win the game. And in this case, Pizza Hut won the game. And part of what happened there was that the brand got itself engaged with something that was already happening, something that was already popular, something that people were already talking about and sharing. Selfies are probably one of the most shared things on the planet. And they literally joined the conversation around something that was already a huge conversation. And they did something with humor and with, a tongue-in-cheek approach to it and with a lot of fun in part of it. And they told a great story. And so these are the kinds of things that we can all do. I mean, if you think of the fact that you can put together tools like Restream and your laptop and the internet, and all of a sudden you have your own media company. We all have our own, and you can think about your work and your business as a media company and as a storyteller, as someone who tells stories. Like, if you put all these things together, you do your homework for life and save the things that are going on with you. Save the things that are going on with you so that you keep on getting this nice long list of all these meaningful moments in your life. You're going to feel like, I have a lot of meaningful moments in my life, and you're going to be feeling really good about that. And you start sharing those things using the 4-step method that I just taught you. That is inspiring to people. That's getting people emotionally engaged. And then you marry all of that with whatever is actually going on in the real world. Like, you are telling stuff that's super relevant, that's already part of a much bigger conversation. This is how it works. This is how it works. Right. And so here we go. I am now going to pick a winner. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. And I am looking for people who wrote breakthrough. That was the call to action, right? Breakthrough. So I'm looking down here, and I think we have a winner. Bing, 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 bing. Galen, breakthrough. So Galen, if you're still there, all you need to do is send me a direct message. Send me a direct message with your address. Send me a message, and I will make sure that this book gets to you. And so just make sure tell me that you're here, that you're still here, Galen, and that you're going to do that. You don't have to post it in the comments, but just send me a DM through Facebook, do a message to me, and that'll be great. It'll be awesome. Right. Awesome. Cool. So this is really great. You guys are awesome. You guys are super awesome. And I'm gonna stop the share. That'll be cool. So we are coming to the end of this Christmas Eve edition. And it's so cool. Like, I'm really glad that you guys were here, able to join me today. I hope you got some value out of this. Honestly, even if you didn't win, I highly recommend go get it on Kindle. Go get this book, no matter what. We just barely scratched the surface of different things that Matthew has to teach you in terms of the way that you can do story and use story to not only enrich your life, but to enrich the lives of everyone around you, and to completely like change the world, make it a better place. And then if you want to take it up a notch, like if you want to make content that not only reaches people who are in your immediate network, but actually those people are so inspired by what you're producing that they start sharing it around the world, then go get a copy of this book, which will teach you how to break through the noise and create shareable content that is so compelling, so amazing that it's shareable. And I have some spaces in my calendar so that if you have heard all this and you're inspired and going, oh man, I love this idea, and Brad seems like a pretty good guy to help me do this, and you would like to talk to me more about how to get your story out there, how to develop your stories in a way that will be compelling and shareable and will change the world, create a revolution, then let me know. Send me a message and we'll figure out a time where we can meet up and talk, and I'll sit down with you and I'll actually create a plan that you can use that will work for you in your world. And last but not least, I am going to thank Restream once again. And if you are interested in the whole thing with Restream, go here, restream.io/join/show-up. Go there right now, because if you upgrade to one of their professional plans, they're having a special 30% discount right now. Right now. Now until New Year's. You have until New Year's, but don't wait, because you never know. Something could happen. And then last but not least, New Year's Eve. Now remember, Thursday at 3. Thursday at 3. That's the thing. Thursday at 3, live stream stories goes live Thursday at 3, right? Go ahead, put it in the comments, Thursday at 3. So next Thursday, which happens to be New Year's Eve, yahoo! I'm going to do a special New Year's Eve edition. I have a special guest. Her name is Meredith Powell. We could be related because my name is Powell and her name is Powell. And we're going to get together, and we're not going to talk about how we could be related. She is somebody who has been doing a live stream series with a co-host on LinkedIn. So I'm going to tell all about, we're going to explore, like, first of all, what's it like to do a live stream show? That's an actual show that she's created on LinkedIn. And why did she do it? And how does that work? And what are her results in using LinkedIn as a platform for live streaming? And her specialty happens to be in sales. Her show is all about how to sell and how to do selling better and how to do selling without it seem like you're trying to sell something. And so we're going to explore all of that. That's going to be a special edition, New Year's Eve. It's something for you to all look forward to. And I just want to see in the comments here, going back down to the bottom. We have thanks again. Merry Christmas and congratulations. Merry Christmas from Serena. And Galen says, what platform are you using to connect with Restream? Well, I'm not sure which. I am using Restream to live stream. Restream is the platform. So all I'm doing is I'm connected via Restream on the internet, and Restream allows me to go live onto Facebook, and I go live onto my Facebook page, my profile, my business page, and my Facebook group. So 3 locations on Facebook. Then I also go live on my YouTube channel, And if you want to find me on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. Subscribe to my channel, and then you'll never miss a show. And if you want to always be notified that I'm going to do this every Thursday at 3, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to Brad Powell Video. Go to YouTube and type in Brad Powell Video, and you'll find my channel, and then subscribe. It's so simple. I am trying to reach, I've got something like 2,400 subscribers, and my near-term goal is to reach 5,000 subscribers, 5,000 people who are interested in live video. That's the community that we're building over there on YouTube. But in addition to Facebook and YouTube, I also am streaming onto LinkedIn, and last but not least, I'm streaming onto Twitter. So 4 different platforms, all at the same time, and I'm doing this simultaneously because of Restream. So I hope that's helpful. And Galen, congratulations. And look, Eddie is here from Nigeria. Oh my gosh. I hope you're having a happy Christmas in Nigeria. That's so great. And I am going to sign off now. It's been a great Christmas Eve. I hope you guys have a great holiday. I hope you are looking forward to a happy new year, a happier new year than anything that's ever happened in this past year. And may we all thrive and go live. Thrive and go live, yay! And I will see you guys next time, Thursday, next week, New Year's Eve. Join me, yahoo!